Country Life with another moment from the Flow Morning Show.
According to the Roy Morgan summary today, federal voting intentions, the coalition's taken a two-party preferred lead over the ALP after support for One Nation has surged. And I think that's because Malcolm Roberts has been on the front foot about the Federal ALP in the Maundy Thursday, or actually Wednesday before the cancellation of the Thursday sitting of politics before the Easter weekend. A whole range of bills were put by Labor and they tried to ram them through, and some they did, including things like an identification system, this digital ID. I think people are really concerned in the wider spectre now that Federal Labor have taken positions that just seem to be losing our position of our sovereignty and our own individual freedom and so on, and this has become a crucial issue. And also then they've looked at this supermarket code, and I think people know that the quickness of that being handed down without any breaking up of the big corporates is Federal Labor pandering to them in the same way the coalition has in the past, and people are concerned about that. But I think there's more to the crunching vote that's coming at the moment. I mean, the supermarket code was something that didn't take in a wide enough spectre. Global retail behemoths like Amazon and Costco should be subject to the supermarket code of conduct alongside the larger Australian companies like Woolworths and Coles. And the interim review of the Food and Grocery Code of Conduct released on Monday recommended the guidelines be made mandatory for supermarkets with yearly revenues exceeding $5 billion, which includes Aldi, Woolworths, Coles. But the code, which is aimed at improving standards of business behaviour, and this particularly the benefit of that for farmers getting paid at the actual front end when they make stuff or they produce stuff, that they at the front end will get the benefit of that. Well, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they will do any breakup of any business. They haven't put that in their code, and that's why I think it's just basically doesn't have enough. The ACCC and others don't seem to have enough teeth to be able to actually implement this against the corporate giants. And you've got to add this to hardware retailers like Bunnings and pharmacies, Chemist Warehouse. They're massive big organisations that are now selling retail items. And some, when you look at Chemist Warehouse, they're selling grocery items technically. I mean, there's a whole range of shampoos and face cleansers and things like that in there. So I think that there is more to this that meets the eye that needs to be brought out. But definitely one considers the situation of intention for voting. The coalition hits the front, and I think that's got a lot to do with the outrage at what Federal Labor are doing. And I could go into the immigration numbers. Maybe I might do that a bit later on in our second hour and just feed you some information about just how drastic it really is for housing and home ownership and home rental situation, given the number of people Federal Labor are continuing to allow to come into the country without just the services and the education, the supermarkets, the cost of living issues that are so paramount. I think people are losing their faith and trust in this one-term government.
Listen in to the Flow Morning Show.